I do not know what happened. Thank you for holding. Where is... Hello? There you go. That was weird. Thank you for holding. I hope to God that doesn't... Oh. Ads again. That's stupid. We're back. We're back. Please refresh your stream if you are not here. Yeah, apparently ads are running again. Fucking despite my best efforts. Don't ask me what happened. I don't know what happened. My whole PC shut down completely without warning. I don't know why. It's stressing me out. I'm gonna have to maybe check the temp or something. That's my first guess. She could use a dusting. Probably. Anyway, we're gonna sit here for another 2 minutes until the ads are dead. Cause that was really scary and annoying. Listen to those crickets. Yeah, thank you, Caesarian. We done been here. $40 until the ads are done. I'm just quickly dismissing anything on my phone that was not like important for me to look at later. 20 seconds. VOD watchers skip ahead. And we should be out of ad hell as well. Thank you all for holding and welcome back. Let's just not worry about it, shall we? Let's just let me worry about it later. All right. Where were we? Are you scared, Shiki? Oh, I pressed the wrong button, that's why. Before I realize it, Arquaid is standing right in front of me. How pathetic. My quivering must have gotten pretty bad if she noticed. Insanely so. Just imagining that vampire coming for us is freaking me out. Huh? But you don't look like it. Yeah, it's taking all I've got to keep it that way, stupid. She's so bad at reading the mood. I wish she'd have the slightest clue of what I'm feeling. Excuse me. Why is she the one who's looking hurt? Because you call her stupid. Arquaid purses her lips, seemingly dissatisfied with my answer. I'm a vampire too, you know. Yeah, you've told me a million times. Exactly. So why aren't you afraid of me? Based on your idea of vampires, you should despise us. What? I'm a little taken aback by her sudden remark. She's not entirely wrong, but... You're an exception. You've never even drunk blood, so you're fine in my book. Vampire or not, as long as you don't lay a hand on humans, I've got no problem with you. Huh. I guess that's one way to think about it. I guess I convinced her. It's like Arkwig's previous hang-ups slid off her like water off a duck's back. The hands on the clock indicate it's now 10 p.m. According to Arkwig, this is when vampires start to get active. He's likely coming up above ground now. I don't know where he's holed up, but he'll notice Arkwig's presence as soon as he wakes, and likely make a beeline for the park. Is he insane? Arkwig's demeanor shifts. Her words drip with contempt as she turns away from me, peering north towards the station. Arkwig? What is he doing? Is this guy really an ancestor? I follow her gaze over the horizon. Is that smoke? Thick black smoke curls upward into the night sky. There must be a fire downtown. Wait, a fire? Arkwig, is that what I think it is? It's Vlav. He's attacking people downtown. Saying he's insane might have been a little too generous on my part. This guy's no better than some of the lower ranks. He's a beast that draws blood from the people around him to replenish his strength. He has no concept of what laws govern this modern age, let alone civilized society. The sound of a faraway explosion rings through the air. The smoke surges into the air with newfound intensity. This is bad. If he's moving through the downtown area, then this will be on a whole other scale from the hotel. The numbers of victims alone would be at least in the thousands. Arkwig! I know. You better hurry, Shiki. We run for the station. Just what the hell is going on over there? He awakes in agonizing pain. His screams pierce the air. There was a loud grinding noise, like a piece of metal getting caught in a blender. His cries are horrific, otherworldly. So horrific they even make his minions tremble. He writhes and flails and lashes about, but none of his protests numb the pain enveloping his entire being. The skin at his fingertips splits and cracks. Acid oozes from within his bones, melting and gnawing at his body from the inside out. His heart shrivels and corrodes from the necrosis, only to regenerate again, forcing him to prolong his own suffering. An unending cycle of torture, doomed to last as long as he lives. His only escape would have been death. But even that salvation was stolen from him long ago. He doesn't remember why he abandoned death. He doesn't remember when it was that death became such a distant concept. All he knows is suffering, cold, pain, heat, fear. His mind is filled with nothing but animalistic screams. Gotta get some morphine or something real intense to deal with the acid blood. He knows that he came to this land in pursuit of something. To kill something. He left the women he loved behind and crossed the turbulent waters. This is his last chance. He's prepared to reclaim it all, leaving himself no hope for a return journey. The only question is how much remains for him to recover. Day by day, sanity is stripped from his mind. Day by day, the curse consumes his body. Was this fate bestowed upon him as punishment for crimes committed in some distant past? Not even he remembers. He's already forgotten so many things. Whatever it is he yearns to take back, his sanity is no longer on the table. Sanity was lost to him long ago. Sanity can never be found again. His wealth and assets too were lost when he traversed the oceans, and now there is no way for him to return to his homeland. The only way for him to survive is to turn this foreign land into his second domain. Yet his past, his future, they matter not. At this moment in time, he craves but one thing: blood. His throat is freezing, his skin is parched, his soul hungers. He needs warm blood as soon as possible. He desires to bathe in it as soon as possible. Questions like where he is or what he's doing pale in the face of such fervent longings. He walks through the darkness. Zombies obediently fall in line behind him, marching silently along. The metal box carries him to the surface, where he creeps outside into the brightly lit streets. That very instant, azure flames spill out, flooding the area around him like a ripple on a lake. The humans in the vicinity had no way of sensing the impending danger. Shrouded by a blue haze, he mindlessly steps out onto the crosswalk, ignoring the blinking traffic lights and the van that threatens to crash into him. Meanwhile, his ghouls seize innocent passers-by left and right, grabbing them by their shoulders and taking them into the ground. A plethora of horrific noises follow: the crunching of bone, the devouring of flesh. And though the people scream and cry, none of them flee. By the time they realize this terrible reality has befallen them, they have no recourse. The van collides with the strange man, but at the moment of impact, it is split down the center. In less than a minute, those caught by the ghouls are reduced to pitiful scraps of flesh. Flames fan out through the area, scorching the legs of those trying to escape until they are little more than charred stumps. Their wriggling torsos remain behind as fodder for the ghouls to feed on. Hell's pandemonium given life on Earth. Why? In the middle of the pandemonium, a man regains a glimmer of reason. He squints at the dazzling lights around him. Though his thoughts are still drenched in his own pain, the sight stirs disgust within him, providing a brief moment of clarity. Why must this town be so glaring? Filth is something I want to conceal. This is the custom of this land to bear it to the world. Before him is a vast cornucopia of humans. Normally, he would feast and drink till his gut was brimming with rich, warm blood, but the urge to do so does not strike him now. How can this land be called fertile if the humans inhabiting it have tainted it so? Humans abound. I shall not want for blood. The azure flames surround the living dead. They engulf the ghouls, changing their very being and rewriting their composition. They become a type of undead fueled by flame. In exchange for their swollen strength, their lives will quickly burn out like candles. I seek not the blood of these pigs. His physiological disgust only amplifies his curse. Blue flames spill from his being, rushing across the asphalt like a river bursting free of its dam. There it finds and claws and devours all living things. In the end, it is all meaningless. The seared human fruits burst and spew their warm juices as he tramples over their flesh. He accepts their offering with head bent in distaste, an act tantamount to being showered in vomit, but what other choice does he have? If he were not bathed in this disgrace, his body would not move. This light, this prosperity, all of it is meaningless to me. The burning zombies fall back into line behind him, like a ghastly parade. He does not remember what he was chasing, but until he remembers, there is only one thing for him to do. A much-needed service that he is to provide. He sneers, thinking how these humans ought to suffer and die. Yes, this bloated den of humanity deserves a wretched end. The town is in chaos. People crowd the streets as they push and pull to escape the mayhem. The fire in front of the station is visible from here. An emergency broadcast plays on the large digital displays on the sides of the buildings. A fire has broken out at the north exit of Soya Station. All trains heading in and out of Soya have been temporarily suspended. People in the downtown area are currently running for their lives. The broadcast switches over to a news presenter interviewing a young girl. She's wearing a high school uniform. It seems she only just managed to slip away from the fire. It's so hot. So hot. Why is it so hot? Those things ate Yuka. They even bit my arm. They kept moving even though they were dead. And they were burning, but they wouldn't stop smiling. Her voice is panicked, driven delirious by the dire situation. The fire spreads relentlessly. The entire neighborhood has been urged to evacuate. But even with those orders in place, the main street is full of people. They gather and draw together, spurred by curiosity. From a distance, they watch the fire unfold, filming and sending messages to update their friends and family. The road to the station has already been blocked off. Fire prevention, perhaps. No, it's too soon for that. There's still too many people in the area to be blocking it off like this. It's almost like they're trying to keep whatever is inside from escaping. Damn it. We aren't getting through this way. Shiki, over here. Arcade seizes my hand. Without another word, she tugs me along, guiding me through the mass of onlookers drawn by the fire. Whoa, hey, slow down. Why did we come here? She lets go of my hand. Arcade slowly scans the wall of the nearest building. Okay, this'll work. It's my first time jumping with another person, but I should still be able to manage this height no problem. Huh? Arcade doesn't hesitate for a second. She grabs my arms as if to secure me. We're jumping. Hold on tight, Shiki. No need to tell me twice. Whoa! We're flying! No, we're jumping! Arcade leaped against the wall, bouncing off of it and onto the next, multiple times until we found ourselves soaring above the rooftops and high across the skies. With me in tow, of course. Wait, We're so high up, I'm going to lose it. How high are we even? We're above the building, so this is, what, 40 meters higher? A 20-meter high roller coaster is enough to give me a heart attack. This has got to be double that. All with my feet dangling over open space. Huh? Shiki, if you don't stop screaming, you'll bite your tongue. Arcade tilts her head at my screams, but having said that, her movements only grow more turbulent. She jumps from building to building, bouncing off the rooftops like she were a rabbit hopping around the moon. My expression tightens as my body is subjected to forces unimaginable. But just as I'm beginning to enjoy the experience, we come to a full stop. Well, that was fun. We're atop a tall building that provides us a panorama of the city. A rooftop garden, concealed from unwanted eyes. Yet here we stand. Would you mind giving me a little heads up next time? The abrupt up and down movements has me heaving to catch my breath. My chest hurts. I'm sure the blood pressure spike was bad for my heart. And even though there was no change in air pressure, my whole body is rigid from coming to such an abrupt halt. It's like I've got the bends. Look, over there. Look at what... I don't manage to finish the thought. For a moment, I even forget about my racing heart. It's all on fire. Our city, this place that I know so well, its familiar buildings are awash in a sea of flame. What? My eyes adjust to the sight, and I see the tragedy play out in full view. The main street is veiled in hues of red as the fire colors the town. The flames whittle away at the surface of the buildings like a knife. An unholy river of flames, with that man at the center of it all, basking in the rain of blood as he sates himself. There are silhouettes spread out in front of him. Police officers have him surrounded on all sides to stop his onslaught. The muzzles of their pistols flash as they all fire on cue. What? Vlav doesn't flinch in the slightest. He likely hasn't even noticed the police's presence. More silhouettes step out from the flames behind the monstrous man. Flaming zombies. Some of them may have been alive mere minutes ago, but now they're little more than shambling corpses. They approach the police officers. as if begging for their help. What the hell just happened? Utter disbelief coats my voice. It's too late to turn back now. All the urgent bravado I had for this mission was bleached away by the sight of the town. The only thing left is pure horror. So this is a vampire's true power. A power that enables him to kill people just by existing. And we're supposed to defeat him? Looks like the church hasn't shown up. Such an ostentatious display should have drawn them out by now. I guess that means they really didn't dispatch anyone to this country. That said, they closed down traffic fairly quickly. Maybe there's an executor around, just not one of their warriors. Arkway's focus lies elsewhere, away from the River of Flames. She seems to be on guard for something else. Well, Shiki, what do you want to do? As you can see, Vlav isn't sound of mind right now. He isn't even trying to find me anymore. The only thing on his mind is slaughter. If we just leave him be, he'll burn through all his reserves and would grow weak. Knowing Vlav, he'll probably burn down the entire city before that happens. But after he's done, he'll be weak enough for me to defeat by myself. You want to take it easy? Sit back and watch till our chance arrives? Or... I know what she's saying. Do I want to brave the danger to save these lives? She must already know my answer, but she's still checking my resolve one last time. A chill crawls down my back. I stare back with as much willpower as I can muster. Got it. Our objective remains unchanged then. Well, if seeing all this won't change your mind, you might be as insane as Vlav. But what should we do now? I guess I don't mind starting right away, you know. Starting? Is she saying she can change the location of the battle? You could do something about this. Hopefully. It's not like I want to be out here in plain view either. Then please, get him out of there. Got it. I'll take him down below. There's some kind of cavern beneath these roads anyway. Take him below? A cavern? What is she talking about? Never mind. This isn't the time to be asking questions. We've got to get him away from here as fast as we can. But remember what we promised. You're gonna come in after me, okay? And before my mind has time to catch up with all she's said, Arkway jumps. She abandons me on the roof and leaps into the void. There she floats, like a beautiful pale flower caught in the breeze. A flurry of air catches her body as she falls from the rooftop. Unfettered from the chains of gravity. Unanchored by nature's laws. Instead of falling, she rises gently. Like a ship in the wind, she sails across the night sky. I can't even be surprised. She's like an infant incarnation of the planet. Every fluctuation that plays across its surface belongs to her. All of nature's blessings, all its fury, that which nurtures life and that which destroys it, both are hers to wield, to embody. Here we go. The beautiful flower swivels her body away from the moon. Her attention shifts from the skies to the ground. It is time for her unbound chains and coiled up anchors to slam into the ground. Below her is the concrete castle, spewing sparks of flame. Ready, set. The flower that bloomed in the night sky transforms into a falling star. The moon lily becomes a tempest to blow away the conflagration. This girl's a... She's a human missile. I was seconds away. The words were coming out of my mouth. I was gonna say, this girl's a fucking tactical nuke. Anyway, she's a human missile. She must have fallen from a height of some 80 meters in the sky to hit Vlav. No, not fallen. It was calculated. She launched herself right at it. After adjusting her trajectory in midair, she accelerates toward her target with missile-like precision. Dirt and debris erupts in a cloud around the impact site. It's intercontinental ballistic arcway. I love that. The massive storm of dust sweeps the area. Even the ever-expanding river of fire is snuffed out in one fell swoop. The police officers that had surrounded Vlav are sent flying backwards by the blast. Most of them are instantly put out of commission. Those who weren't knocked out are too overcome by fear to mount any sort of resistance. A perfectly natural response. Holy crap. The dust settles, unveiling the scene below, or what's left of it anyway. Arcwade's attack didn't just take out Vlav. She plunged into the earth and shattered through its surface, taking a section of the station's north exit and a good chunk of the shopping district down with her. So this is what she meant when she said she'd take him down. The crater's got to be at least 40 meters deep. It feels like I'm witnessing some spectacle of nature on par with the Amazon forest or Niagara Falls. Hasn't that idiot ever heard of a restraint? Of course, this isn't praise. Still, this is incredible. Did she plan all of this, or did it just happen to go well? From my vantage point on the rooftop, I don't spot any casualties. Police officers outside of the blast zone come rushing in to tend to their unconscious brethren. They then set out to withdraw from the area. As a result, the vicinity is completely cleared of human life. She's one hell of a force to be reckoned with. Uh-oh. Was that Vlav's fire? Maybe Arcwade missed her target, or Vlav managed to dodge just in time. Either way, he's still alive. What a monster surviving a blast like that. But something is chasing him down within the flames. A burst of white flashes from within the cloud of dust, pushing back against him. You're gonna come in after me, okay? Arcwade's words echo in my mind. There'll be time to think later. For now, I've got to get down from here. You gotta take the stairs. I make for the stairs. I cut through the lock on the door with my knife. I hurtle down the stairs by the glow of the emergency lights. My resolve and my breathing are both rendered wild and ragged as I speed downwards. All I have to do is sever Vlav's lines. At first, Arcwade will fight him and bind him with her chains. Then it'll be my turn. I'll run up to him, cut his lines, and chop him to pieces. What Arcwade did just now was truly amazing. It's no wonder she insisted she could restrain him. That said, even so, Vlav is still alive and well. There's still a chance that Arcwade underestimated him. And if she did, her wounds put her at a disadvantage. Worst case scenario, I'll have to face Vlav alone. No, that won't happen. We didn't plan for the worst because there was never any need to. Because if Arkway were defeated, there'd be no option for me but to run away. At last, I make it to an elevator. I throw myself inside and slam the button for the first floor. There's no more time for doubts. Even if there was, I'm in way too deep to voice them. I try to take a deep breath and check myself over. Good. Still in one piece. Body's still moving. The only parts that feel stiff are my fingers. They're gripped so tightly around my knife that they don't even feel like they're a part of my own body. Is this fear I'm feeling? Am I scared of facing that monster, that incarnation of violence? If that's all it is, then I'm fine. At least this proves I'm still in my right mind. This is a creature that can kill just by being in close proximity to someone. Any human ought to be afraid of that. But that leaves one other fear. The real problem. Namely, I'm more afraid of killing than being killed. My breathing quickens. My heart thumps faster in my chest, like it's trying to break free from my body. I arrive at the first floor. Adjusting my grip on my knife, I run as fast as I can towards the crater. I step out of the building and witness the mountain of rubble before me. Slowly, I inch closer to the crater, stopping just short of where the ground caved in to peer over the edge. It's definitely 40 meters deep. There was a park here once, but there's no trace of it now. The debris is scattered across the slope, all the way down to where it bottoms out into the cavern. It looks like it'll be too steep to climb back up, though I should be able to get down safely enough. Which is why I... Are you serious right now? Nah, bro, we're fucking getting in there. I'm overriding this decision. It's time. I can't go back down, knowing exactly where our enemy is. And it's not just Vlav down there. Arkway is there too, fighting him at this very moment. Jumping in a fire sounds like a great idea. I agree! I promised I'd fight at her side. It'll be alright. After all, it's not my job to fight this battle. I just need to deliver the finishing blow. Once she's got him pinned down, I'll get in and cut through his lines. But in order to do that... There's no time to be scared. The fire and the flames we carry on. Who's got that guitar solo for me? Oh my god. One moment, please. Okay, anyway. I skid down the rubble slope and I hit the ground at the bottom of the crater. I quickly cover my nose and mouth with my hand. It was a pure reflex, a survival instinct that triggered in response to the searing atmosphere around me. I'm live. I go live. I go live a lot. You got notifications on. Hey, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. You've tuned in at probably the most tense moment of this whole episode. Don't sweat it, Big Mac. I'm just teasing you. I can't breathe. Surely there's plenty of oxygen. I learned from our time at the hotel that these flames are some type of curse. They don't undergo combustion in the way a real flame would. The problem is the heat. The air is so hot that taking a normal breath would roast my lungs to a crisp. Both vampires are before me. A perfect contrast, one clad in white and the other in his black cloak. Claw and cleaver meet time and time again. Despite the heat, Arcway doesn't break a sweat as she continues to press back against Vlad. To me, it looks like Arcway has the upper hand. It won't be long now until she manages to restrain him. There's just one problem. That is, how long it'll last. Since my body is already ablaze. Strangely enough, I don't feel any pain. Even without breathing, I've got a grasp of the situation. I grip my knife tight, waiting for the moment that I can take down Vlad. Like a sprinter waiting for his signal. Or an unmoving specter. I wait. And wait. And wait. My eyeballs dry, sizzle, smoke, and turn to ashes, but still, I wait. The moment never comes. And neither does the realization that I've long since burned to ashes. Wow, it's almost like you should have scoped it out first. Yeah, you're right. It's almost like jumping into fire was, in fact, a bad idea. What? This segment has been created solely for the purpose of assisting troubled players and bears no relation to any actual persons or Tsukihime characters. Please be advised that it may diverge substantially in tone from the main story. I had no idea this existed. Play dubious hint segment number 4. Fuck it, why not? Yeah, let's do it. Teach me, Miss CL. Wait, CL? Why CL? Oh, hi. Oh my god! It's fucking Neko Arc, bro! I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready. This is the Dead End Police! Stop right there, Tono! Do you have any idea how fast you were going? Why do you seem so happy about this, huh? Our pro tag just got barbecued. Excuse me, the battle was just so exciting, I got a little ahead of myself. Welcome to a very special Q&A corner, hosted by me, your professor, and this cat that keeps showing up for some reason. Teach me, Miss CL. Depending on how you've been playing, this may be your first dead end. Does that mean we could have died up to 3 times before now? I kind of understand why you would pick this option. But you should calm down and really think about the situation. Humans don't react well to being set on fire. I wonder which choices I could have made that would have gotten us killed. Because some of them seemed like they could have gone either way. I see this then. It was the cat's meow. You got a total babe fighting right in front of you. How's anyone supposed to stay calm? Here's a poem from me to you. Out of the frying pan and into the pyre. Welcome, welcome. Well done. What the fuck? What do you think? I bet that got your tummy rumbling, eh, mademoiselle? No, I'm afraid I didn't understand it at all. Though I do prefer my meat extra crispy. I'm more of a medium rare guy myself. I'll if it's a steak, I'll get it like rare, but if it's like a burger, medium rare. Gotta make sure ground meat is cooked thoroughly. If it's steak, if it's like a slab meat, then it's not too bad. As long as you get the internal temperature up. waits until night instead of attacking him in the morning when he's vulnerable, then doesn't wait when there's a fire. Look, alright, I might not be the sharpest knife in the crayon box here. Give me a break. Rare steak? Bro, we already missed our fucking ramen date. Pick one. In some fairness, Shiki seemed fine in the hotel where the fire was blazing around him. True. See that? Yeah, there's my logic. Was that the fire was like ethereal fire. It was hot, but it didn't like burn him. And now all of a sudden, we're dead. Shut up. Wait, really? Huh. Thought you were French. You don't like your steak nice and bloody? Tender meat is delicious in things like beef curry, but when it's uncooked, it's just too visceral. But I bet that Akiha likes rare meat. Or maybe Ikezukuri would be more her style. Tobias, do you know what Ikezukuri is? Because I don't. And I don't want to look it up. Did you know the Japanese take live fish and turn them into sashimi? Can you believe that? I like sashimi. Fish is better the fresher it is, dum-dum. Of course you'd think that, being a cat. That's Ikezukuri. Wait, just fresh-ass fish? You think I'm pulling your tail? I'll let you treat me to some fancy schmancy sushi sometime. Sashimi from live fish. Huh. That... I don't know how... I mean, I'll try anything once, I guess, but that seems a little too fresh for me, maybe. You a fan of flounder, little miss? Well, it's not as if I eat the same thing every day, you know. I eat seafood. Sometimes. Sure, whatever. We won't be able to settle this now. We'll talk about dinner later. Now, let's get back on track. Yeah, for real. Yes, you're right. We're still in the middle of class. Let's see. A fight between vampires can be extremely dangerous. So stay calm and watch from afar. Don't worry, you'll have your own time to shine. So save your strength until then. Alright, I'm clocking out. Messian, here I come. The seafood curry calls to me. Never had curry, but I've always wanted to try it. Well. Hopefully this puts us back, like, right when we make the decision, instead of me having to skip through the whole chapter again. Oh. Ew. Ew. Whoop. The place we're going to has curry? Cool. Ew. Ew. That looks like the start of the chapter again. Ew. Okay, hold on. Please hold. don't. Catch any good movies lately? I hear that Deadpool was pretty good. Deadpool and Wolverine. I still haven't seen it yet because we missed our movie date on Friday too because I couldn't get tickets. The theater was kind of sold out. Do that other choice. Yeah. What do you mean I did? Well, because we can't go to the movies together if you're sitting on one side of the theater and I'm sitting on the other side of the theater. That's just like doesn't make any fucking sense. said you already bought your tickets, so I was like, alright, well, let me try and get a seat, like, next to you, so then we could, like, you know, hang out. I better start saving before choices. Yeah, probably should have been doing that from the get-go. Really probably should have been doing that the whole time. Fucking, Witch on the Holy Night, ruined me. Witch on the Holy Night really... I should just say what we did before the first stores, otherwise I'll be here all day. Yeah. Yeah, I don't wanna run through the hole. I don't wanna be stuck here. I'm hungry, alright? Give me a break. There's a skip scene thing? Hold on. Oh, no. That's...
空中の元素を固定化したものよ。私、その形はイメージしやすくて相性いいの。
鎖？鎖ってあの鎖か？そうか。
That's not...
じゃあどうやってブローブを抑え込むんだ？
Menu... Flowchart? Does it show where we died? It sure does! Lamau. I don't think... Because there's quick jump. Oh, quick jump. Okay, no, you gotta. Can you skip through the flowchart? That's a good question, actually. Can we? No, hold. No, I can't. I can go back, but I can't go forward. Fuck! All right. We're fast forwarding then. This is a little painful. This is a little painful. And quick jump also only lets you go backwards. This game let you save whenever you... There is a quick save option, yeah. Oh, man. I was not expecting this. Which I think it was X to open the top. But yeah, that's what I was pressing to do this. This is what I press X, and this is what happens. Quick jump will only let me do stuff that we've the recent lines. Chat Mesmer's fight is speed. Are you playing Elden Ring while I'm playing this? Yeah, the big menu is this one. And I don't think any other buttons do anything. There's an auto read button. I didn't know that was there. R1 will auto fast forward and R2 will manual fast forward. Might be up. Let me see. Oh yeah, up on the D-pad. Jump to the next scene. There we go. When Kama does big orb, it's funny. Big orb. I am big orb. Alright, here we are. Not that one? Oh. You meant Mesmer's orb? You mean my Oh, you mean the biggest orb. I think it's actually funnier with all the stuff on. That's what happens when I puff my cheeks out. But it sometimes happens just when I'm talking normally, just because of like, just because of the facial capture, I guess, and my face, I guess. Anyway, I step out of the building and witness the mountain of rubble before me. Slowly, I inch closer to the crater, stopping just short of where the ground caved in to peer over the edge. It's definitely 40 meters deep. There was a park here once, but there's no trace of it now. The debris is scattered across the slope, all the way down to where it bottoms out into the cavern. It looks like it'll be too steep to climb back up, though I should be able to get down safely enough. Which is why I scope it out first, so I don't fucking die this time. I can't go down there now. The pit below is filled with azure flames as far as the eye can see. In the middle of it all stands the towering vampire. Vlav Archangel. That's how he pronounced it. Let's not pretend it's not just Archangel butchered to shit. It appears that explosion didn't even scratch him. What a monster. By human standards, he might as well be immortal. But even so... Even so, the figure in white still dances circles around him. Like a beautiful huntress darting and weaving through an orchard of flame and crumbling rubble. That figure in white is Archwade. She leaps over the river of flames to close in on Vlav. In his hand is some crude weapon. At a glance, it looks like a long sword, but its blade is shaped like a machete. Archwade, on the other hand, is fighting back against him with her bare hands. She's only got her legs to run and her clawed hands to strike. Yet even so, this proves enough to counter Vlav's machete. He's forced backwards after one tremendous blow. Should I be calling it a machete? I guess that depends on whether or not I would be calling nunchucks nunchucks or nunchaku. I'll just keep saying machete for now. Makes it a little easier. The wound left on his arm is deep enough for me to see the bone beneath. But the sight lasts only a moment. By the time Archwade slashes open Vlav's flesh, his blood is already flowing over it, repairing the gash. Archwade warned me about this. Vampires won't die as long as their supply of blood isn't exhausted. It's just like she said. A wound fatal to any ordinary creature disappeared in the blink of an eye like it was never there. He swings his heavy blade without fear. Archwade is careful not to overextend. Whenever she lands a blow, she quickly leaps back just out of his blade's reach. She must be wary of him landing a counter-strike. No, that's not it. Her face says it all. She's enjoying the chase. Is resilience to death the only thing you've got going for you? Oh, how the 27 ancestors have fallen. Do you plan to die before you even show me your trump card? Vlav's breathing comes out in ragged heaves. His morbidly pale skin is painted with anguish. He may be immortal, but there's a limit to his powers. Even though he appears to be unharmed, Archwade's dive bomb must have wrecked him, maybe even dealt an otherwise fatal blow. And in regenerating his entire body, he's burned through most of his energy. Archwade is in a similar situation due to me killing her. That sort of thing must have taken its toll on Vlav, too. I take it she's thinking the same thing. So she's distancing herself after each attack. Essentially baiting Vlav to move in for the kill, hoping he'll risk it all on a full-blown counterattack. The metallic ringing of blows reverberates through the air. Vlav's breathing is a mess. No, this is... An awful, foreboding chill creeps up my back. Archwade's got the upper hand, and Vlav is clearly getting exhausted. So why am I feeling so uneasy watching all this unfold? It's as if Archwade's claws are no longer hitting him like they were before. Worse, Vlav's ragged appearance, his swordplay, no, machete play, is still top-notch. It's as if it can see right through Arcwade's actions, anticipating and calculating her every move. The worst of all, he still hasn't used that flaming claw of his yet. Vlav howls. The fire shudders and soars in response. Swirling several meters high, the flames grow into an inferno that towers over the both of them. They then split into countless blazing branches. The underground coliseum has morphed into a jungle of flame. Walls of fire press in around Arcwade, blocking off her escape routes. At that moment, high above her, melting straight through the rubble, hands composed of heat stretch their fingers wide before slamming straight into her body. In that 1 second, the tides shift in Vlav's favor. Arcwade told me that she could withstand temperatures up to 3,000 degrees. But these flames just burn straight through concrete. They gotta be far hotter than that. Vlav stacked 3 of those fiery hands atop one another. A strike like that wouldn't leave ashes behind. She never had a chance of escape, and now the fire only serves to lap up its prey. That's how it ends for the woman in white. Incinerated without a trace. That is, if this had happened last night. Whoa! The flames part. A white skirt flutters in the wind. My gaze is glued to the scene, mesmerized by her transformation. She told me all about it. I've got a plan. I'll remake my body beforehand. This black and white battle dress must be the culmination of her plan, a piece of armor that can withstand even the heat of Vlav's flames. I wonder if it looks the way it does because it absorbed his flames, or if Arcwade made it that way. Either way, the flames have no effect on her now. Her plan went off without a hitch. Arcwade's victory was all but assured once she figured out that the fire was Vlav's main weapon of attack back in the hotel. Vlav assails her with more fiery claws. But Arcwade bats them away with a casual flick of her left wrist. As easily as parting her hair, she cleaves through the wall of flames, scattering them left and right. The sparks that manage to touch her white dress sizzle and fade in submission. Her golden hair streaks behind her like a shooting star. The way she moves and swings her claws is now unlike anything I have seen her do so far. Vlav is forced to stumble back, helpless against her onslaught. The difference between them is astounding. It's hardly even a contest anymore. Vlav went from hunter to hunted in a second. His flames were rendered useless. Came back from Agile, just thought Vlav was about to use Fire Hand. I've been watching the damn mini player, but I can't read shit. Arcwade has survived the flames, and her dress has transformed because she has fortified her body. Arcwade is absolutely relentless, inflicting fatal wound after fatal wound as she corners the vampire. The only reason Vlav's still standing must be because he's still got some blood in reserve. But that will run out sooner or later, especially since there's no one left in the area for him to feed off of. All that's left is that which already flows within his body. Just a few more hits like this and that'll be gone too. He'll be starved. Once he no longer possesses the fuel he needs to regenerate, he'll be little more than a regular corpse. Stop this. A plea for mercy. Undignified, like a spoiled child. Gone is his skillful display with the machete. His swings turn wild and graceless as he haphazardly lunges at Arcwade, almost like he were trying to cast away his fears, but she doesn't miss her chance to retaliate. Cold. So very, very cold. The vampire cries as he leaps into the air. Getting away from Arcade takes every last ounce of blood-fueled power that he has. He flees, soaring higher and higher, aiming past the confines of the crater. Even a 40-meter deep crater isn't enough to keep him trapped. It's likely that he intends to scour the surface for more blood to replenish his supply. But ivy wraps around his legs before he has a chance to escape. It sprouts from the earth in a flash, tangling itself around the vampire with incredible force, and drags him right back to the center of the hole. The river of fire at Vlov's feet is reignited. I watch as the azure flames turn the ivy to ashes, but it's not enough to release him of his shackles. New vines spring forth from this topsoil of ashes. No matter how many times he burns through them, the chains remain unbroken, reviving again and again like a phoenix. Even the immortality of a vampire pales in comparison to nature's infinite cycle of rebirth. These vines are that cycle made manifest. Short of burning down the entire planet, there's no way to escape them. No amount of vampiric powers or curses can extinguish nature's breath. Arcade dashes in his direction. Everything about her posture and demeanor tells me that she's going in for the final blow. She's already crushed every last one of his attacks.
My friends are my power, and I'm theirs!
Oh! Doc, thank you for the raid. I'm being raided by the army of darkness. Oh no! I forgot to... I guess when my PC crashed before it unmuted everything. Doc, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. My name is Conla Redleaf. For those who don't know, I am I used to be a wolf-bite warrior before I was turned into the orbacular being you see before you. Tonight we are reading Tsukihime. We've had quite a few hiccups. This stream, but we are right in the thick of it. The climactic clash of this middling chapter. Doc, if you gotta run, take care of yourself, get some food or whatever, don't let me hold you up. And raiders, if you're sticking around, you've come in at kind of an awkward time, so I don't blame you if you want to skedaddle. But if you choose to stick around, I thank you for it. Once again, I'm Conla, and back to the story. She's already crushed every last one of his attacks. Finally, she's decided to put an end to this. I'm happy to let her do the honors. She doesn't even need my involvement. Any moment now, Arcade will crush Vlov. Do have to raid and run, but leave the Spark Squad. The Spark Squad? That's fun. I like that. I will take good care of them. I will welcome them, as will the leaflets, right? Right, guys? Anyway. Take care of yourself, Doc. See you soon. Yes, good. That's the answer I wanted to hear. There's just one thing. Even with our victory so close at hand, my heart beats like crazy. Something feels wrong. His agony, his labored breath. Something tells me that things aren't as they seem. The anguish painted on his sallow face is clearer than ever. In this incandescence, he alone inhabits a different world. A white breath, so out of place amidst the fiery sea that envelops him. I know that look in his eyes. It's one of obsession and self-preservation. He is both the aggressor and the victim. Which is when I realize that we made a huge mistake. Damn it, what am I thinking at a time like this? Arcade's victory is already guaranteed. I'd be an idiot to try and interfere now. I ought to sit here and observe. There's no need for me to plunge into that hellscape. Knowing that, now that I know we can die, I think we might want to make a quick A quick save. A quick save. What do you mean low battery? You're plugged in. I remember what Arkwade told me. Defeating a vampire means defeating whatever special abilities they possess. The problem is that we were looking at the wrong ability. In focusing on the fire, we overlooked everything else. But that's not where his true power lies. Arkwade, you were wrong! It's the other way around! I shout at her from high above. But I'm too far. My voice won't reach her. Despite it all, I scream with all my might. I know what type of power this vampire wields. It's not heat, but... Arkwade pierces his chest. Blood spurts out from the wound. It flows quick and free, like a bottle uncorked. At least this scorching nightmare is brought to an end. Vlav is pushed past the final threshold. A terrible sound fills the air. It rends time and space as the vampire reveals its true form. The atmosphere crackles and sparks. The atoms that were accelerated by the heat suddenly decelerate at an unnatural pace. Electrons bounce off the ultra-cold matter, and with nowhere to go, react with the atmosphere. The blue flames that covered the ground around him were never really flames at all. They were an exothermic reaction akin to vaporization, the very Earth rapidly losing heat. This world is... He extends one of his cold-blooded arms. His fingers are spread wide, palm open as if craving warmth. So very, very cold. The beautiful huntress is enveloped in blinding light. It wasn't just the temperature that dropped. The world itself underwent a drastic change. A torrent of ice blows Arkwade away and engulfs the city beyond. Everything is frozen, from the ground in the pit below to the roofs of the skyscrapers. All in a flash. I wonder if anyone was left in those buildings. If there were people who still hadn't been evacuated, the sheer cold would have robbed them of their heat and killed them in an instant. A shiver runs down my back at the sight before me. I'm afraid to think of what might follow this. It's stupid luck that I'm even alive right now. Had I been behind Arkwade on the other side of the crater, I would have been frozen alive. The river of flames could cover a wide area, but it also spread slowly. Most people would be able to outrun the flames if needed. But this river of frost is something else. It might have narrow range and follow a set path across the ground, but once it's fired, it spells instant death. If he manages to escape above ground, he'll slaughter the whole town. Arkwade. Damn it, is she okay? I desperately cling to the hope that she's still alive. She's the only one who can stop this monster. There! I spot her in the middle of the glacial river. Thank God for Arkwade being tough as nails. It looks like that blast of ice didn't even dent her. I see how it is now. It's not that you're insane. You're just fleeing from your sanity. I suppose even a third-rate dead apostle can topple their superiors if they possess the right principle. Thanks for the wake-up call, Vlad Archangel. Arkwade stands untouched at the center of the glacier. Vlav's gaze is as cold as the ice that surrounds him. His eyes are no longer filled with the same pain and agony as before. They're the eyes of a hunter now, stalking his prey on the snowy tundra. I am the one who was awoken. How dare you rob me of this machine? The hatred on his tongue cuts the air like a knife. He hasn't lost the will to fight. If anything, this is the first time I've actually seen him this motivated to battle. Count yourself lucky, Vlad. Normally I'd have finished you off before you came to your senses. Thank a certain slasher for making me too weak to bring your salvation quickly. Though that's but a temporary matter. I see. I understand now. Your power is indeed a far cry from what I heard you could muster. How fortunate I am to face you now, weakened as you are. Though I hate to admit it, you're right. But both of us are on our last legs. The next move will end with one of us being wiped from this earth. So before we get to that, I'll show you the least bit of courtesy. Answer me, lonely servant. Mark of the ancestor, lesion on the root, whirling hollow, bastard seed of a newborn principle. What is blood to you? Arkwade sounds oddly dire, even considering the situation. Her question sounds like she's condemning him. Even Vlov looks like he was taken by surprise. You shall have your answer. To me, blood is warmth itself. It is the warmth of life. That which heals my frostbite and guides both my world and my principle. Without blood, I would succumb to the cold, find my demise at its icy grip. His tone belies an honest reverence as he clarifies his true nature. I remember now. There was once an eccentric vampire who both loathed and feared humans. To avoid them, he traversed the distant seas and built a castle of her own. She. Did I say he? One of the 27 ancestors, Zarya Offenbaum. I heard that she never sired any children, despite having used her principle to rule over her domain for more than a millennium. In which case, I suppose you killed her and robbed her of it. Correct. I am no successor. I am but a knight. No, I was once a knight. Eternity was never meant for my grasp. The vampire beckons towards his shadow with his right hand. Out of his unnaturally stretched umbra emerges a strange and massive weapon. Holy fuck. Can I get a closer look at that lance, please? But such a thing was unsuited for my master. Thus, I took it for my own. I became a knight who usurped his liege and stole the throne. Now her principle is mine alone. It'll be a short reign then. Bold words. You're too weak to manifest your marble phantasm, yet you still dare to challenge me. Write that down, write that down! I don't need it, nor do I need to assimilate with nature to take out a simple dead apostle. For someone like you, just my claws will do the trick. The corner of his lips curve into a smile. His gallant features twist into that of a hideous beast. It's a wry smile, as if to confirm Arkwade's accusation. The strongest beings are those who are balanced, yet ever-changing. Beings like you, even in your own weakened state, still exceed my own power.
あらゆる呪い、あらゆる状
A
況に対
primordial
応す
creature
る
that
原
can weather
初の
any storm
命
and withstand any curse.
波の
A
人で
regular
は
dead
かなわ
apostle
ない
would not possess a sliver of hope against you. The air distorts. His twisted desires spur the blue haze to lower the temperature even further. But Arquaid doesn't hesitate. She's fully aware that a direct hit from Vlov's strange lance could be the end of her, yet she still charges head-on. Then,
だが貴様は
but
知
you
る
know
まい
nothing of me.
かの領
My
土
domain
こ
may
の
be part
星
of
の
this
一部
planet,
であり
but
な
it
が
is
ら
not one
生
fit
き
for
るに
life.
あたわずと除外された生命権いかに真相
True
の姫で
ancestor
あろう
princess
と
or not,
この
let
地
us see
獄
how
に
you
耐
fare
えき
against
れ
this
るか
hell of mine. A flurry of ice-cold gusts spread outwards from Vlav. Arquaid comes to an abrupt halt and throws up her hands in front of her as if to protect herself. The wind screeches as it blankets its surroundings in temperatures approaching absolute zero. And then... the giant otherworldly spear shatters Arquaid's pure white dress. Outfit removal lance, it's like fucking Fire Emblem Fates up in here. The blast kicks up a snowstorm that blocks my vision. My breath turns white as the air around me cools. The blizzard clears, revealing Arquaid crumpled on the rubble a few dozen meters from Vlav. Nothing remains of her fireproof dress. She's gone back to her original form. Truly a monster.
俺の槍を受けて
Still
原
live
型
after
をと
tasting
ど
my
めている
spear.
だが
We'll soon fix that. Arquaid lies dead still. But Vlav doesn't approach her. Instead, he raises his hand as if signaling for something. The debris surrounding Arquaid creaks and crumbles. Beneath the rubble, the clawed hands of zombies scratch and groan as they crawl out of the dirt.
この狩りはもは
The hunt
や
is
俺のも
over.
のだ女の死体を拾って
Bring her
こい
body to me.
その順
I
応
will
せ
take what is hers.
あらゆる
I
苦
will
し
take
み
that
を上
versatile
回る
blood
万能
capable
の
of
血を
overcoming all suffering.
この手に
At Vlov's command, the zombies head to where Arquaid lies motionless. It's over. Our plan failed. There won't be another chance to chain up Vlov. Arquaid is gone, and the city is wrapped in the grim cold. Everyone is as good as dead. What I see before me now are the final moments before the world as I know it ends. Or is it? The cold feels like razor blades on my skin. My body temperature is dropping rapidly. Even living is a challenge in this extreme weather. My brain's gears grind as the pressure in my skull rises. I claw at my chest, feeling like my heart might explode any moment now. I give myself 2 more minutes at best. The horde of zombies is closing in on Arquaid. Despite the freezing cold, the scene reminds me of midsummer. They're like a file of ants marching towards some spilled sugar under the scorching sun. They'll kill her. They'll tear her limb from limb, just like I did. Just like you did once. Yet I stand here, watching it all unfold from the safety of this ledge. At this rate, At this rate. I can't. That thing is a natural disaster in the guise of a human. We never should have gone after him. It was the height of arrogance to think we could defeat him. What was I thinking? That we could stop him from killing more people? That we could solve this without any more casualties? What a joke. We never should have confronted him. If we had just let the whole disaster blow over like a typhoon, at least he might have stopped at burning the city to the ground.
でも
I just can't. They couldn't do anything. You chose to do nothing. They had nothing to fight back with. You have a weapon. Pressure builds against my skull. Thoughts turn to disarray as common sense wrestles with delusion. My consciousness turns to flee. I make no move to stop it. There's nothing I can do. No way I can fight it. But I've done enough. Any more is insane. But I should run while I can. Just turn away like a normal person. But she'll die. I stare up at the sky. Tall, frozen buildings invade my view. The people inside must have died in an instant. No chance to even manage a scream. Unlike what happened at the hotel, the pleading screams of the people there still haunt me even now. I look over at the fallen woman. The corpses inch closer and closer to her, moaning and drooling. Even now, the river of ice continues to expand, all while the vampire watches over his dominion of death with absolute indifference.
間違いない
I know. My head splits from the pain. At this low temperature, my heart has to squeeze and contract with everything it's got to keep my blood flowing. Everything points to just one conclusion.
俺には
I can't do it. Every trickle of fear that sinks to the pit of my stomach churns and turns, coagulating into a mass of fury. I may be defective, a laughingstock, stupid and naive, because despite all of that, I still can't bear to stand by and watch this happen. I remove my glasses. I cover my mouth with my left hand to stop what remains of my precious body heat from escaping through my breath. I've got maybe 3 minutes. That's all the time I'll have until the fire within me burns out. It's not that I lack motivation. It's just a realistic assessment of how long a human can survive down in that pit. Shit!
何やってんだ
What
俺
the hell am I even doing? I scold myself as I slide down the slope. This is crazy. I'm crazy. This is all so crazy. Run away if you want to live? No, it's the opposite. If I really want to live, I need to go in. This monster cannot be allowed to exist. This monster cannot be allowed to roam free. If I run away, I'll die. If I run away, the entire city will perish with me. So it's clear what I have to do now. If I want to live, I need to kill. If I'm going to survive, I need to charge. I have to kill him right here and right now, as fast as I can. My patience for this creature has already run thin. It dares to kill, steal, and live on without remorse or repercussion. I cannot allow it to live. Not as a human, not as a fellow living creature. As long as this thing lives, it will be my prey. I will tear out its life force by the root. I run towards Arcwade. Zombies are about to press their teeth into her tender flesh. I remember the question she asked me earlier. Can I actually bring myself to kill? Whether they are truly human or not, can I kill something that looks so human? It doesn't matter now. My head simply aches. I've never gone without my glasses for this long. I've never been this objective in my thinking. In my frenzied state, I make quick note of where each death line is on their bodies. Then, I commit to memory each of my undead targets. Hands off her, you eyesores. The dead shouldn't dare to prey on the living. Besides, she's my prey. Mine alone. I cut through lines on 3 of the zombies like they were butter. Each neatly splits into 3 pieces and drops to the ground dead. It was almost too easy. With their attention focused on Arcade, they were completely defenseless. Wake up! How long do you plan on just lying there? I make no attempt to touch her. I just call out to her as I kill the 4th. Roused by my voice, Arcade opens her eyes in a daze. What are you doing here? Run already! She pushes herself off the ground, but the toll on her is evident from her face and posture. She's come to. She's alive, though her wounds haven't healed. It looks like Arcade won't be able to move anytime soon. She's the one who ought to be running away, not me. Unfortunately, I don't exactly have it in me to get her to safety. Glad you're back up. Try and cover me if you can. Cover you? Are you taking him on by yourself? Have you lost your mind? Can someone in their right mind do this? This is like the bottom of the ocean for me. You got that? I have 3 minutes tops. In that time, we've got to do this. We have to kill him and end it. Knife in hand, I dash ahead, leaving Arcade behind. I look over to Vlad, quickly calculating the distance between the 2 of us. About 40 meters. 6 seconds before I reach him. He still hasn't noticed me yet. 3 more seconds. I can't waste any more time observing him. I've got to end this with one final blow. My body is already suffering from hypothermia. I've got 3 more minutes until my mind and body shut down entirely. But I have at most 1 minute before my body starts to falter, and I can no longer move freely. That's plenty, though. I can already see the lines that'll let me kill him where he stands. He finally reacts. He shifts his gaze toward me, with all of the disinterest of a man about to wave off a bug. The gigantic lance he used to skewer Arcade is gone too, which makes sense. I'd be worried if it wasn't. In Vlav's eyes, I'm nothing. I might as well be one of his useless zombified minions. He sees me as no more than Arcade's incompetent bodyguard. Why stain his spear when he could just as easily crush this insignificant human under his boot? That gives us our chance. All I can do is catch him by surprise. He's already spotted me, so getting him from behind is no longer an option. But that doesn't mean a surprise attack is out of the question. He doesn't know about my eyes. He'd never fathomed that a mere human could possess the power to kill an immortal vampire with a single strike. 2 seconds. It's my only chance. My one shot to cross the boundary between life and death. Focus. All I need to do is dodge his first move. As long as I can do that, then my gamble will pay off, and I'll be able to cut through his lines. One second before I reach him. Just as I'm about to get within slashing distance, we both jump back from one another at the same time. We never even got within each other's reach. 2 factors brought us here. First, I made a misstep. The cold air concentrated around him prevents me from getting near. The closer I get, the duller my body and mind become. At the speed I was going, I'd have lost consciousness as soon as I was within 2 meters of him. One more step and it would have been over for me. I've lost the element of surprise. It just isn't possible to sneak up on Vlad and kill him. But I can live with that. Failing the ambush was something I had accounted for. There's the other problem, though. A problem far more deadly. That bastard. My rage throbs behind my temples, mixing with the headache from going without glasses for so long. I still can't believe it. He managed to read me. He must have some kind of intuition. A primal instinct to survive that would put any wild animal to shame. He should have had no reason to fear me, yet he somehow sensed that I have some method of killing him. In that perilous instant he recognized me as a threat, leaping away without another moment's thought.
なぜ俺が引いた
Why did I withdraw? I jumped back around 2 meters, but his retreat was on another level. He had to have pulled a full 30 meters back. I suppose 30 meters must be the minimum safe distance for a vampire. It's almost hilarious how different that scale we operate on.
なんだ
What is
お前
this?
はなんだ
What are you? He took the words right out of my mouth. My luck has quickly gone down the drain. He'll never let me close this gap between us again. I've recognized that I won't be able to take him down, whereas he's figured out that I possess a way to kill him. From here on out, it'll be...
いい近寄るな
Very well.
お前はそ
You
こ
will
で
not
死ん
approach
でい
me.
ろ
You will die where you stand. A long-distance massacre. The cold air condenses, forming icy objects in midair. They're sharp as spears, and like bullets that fly, they're targeting my skull. Do I dodge, or do I try to take them? Should I waste my weapon here, or continue to conceal it? The decision is made on instinct. The headache wrings my brain like a wet towel. My eyes hone in on the instrument of death, like the focus being adjusted on a camera. If I cut the lines, these spears of ice, their inertia, their very bonds holding them together, will be killed right in front of me. Death takes aim at my temples. I align my knife with the projectiles. Humans were once feral beasts, too. We're still hosts to the acute reflexes and instincts we had during that bygone time. As long as I'm free to move my body as I wish, these icicles are no deadlier than a pea shooter. However, I've used up my only shot at a surprise attack. His eyes tell me everything I need to know. He saw what I did just now. He doesn't have to understand how I did it, but I'll never get close enough to do it to him. I've lost my only avenue to victory. Should I really have shown him my trump card so soon? No, I shouldn't have. But it's not like I had any other choice. I had to play my best hand in order to survive. I'll just have to find something that can make up for it. I limit myself to only the most necessary movements. Even if I can't get close to him, I should at least try to conserve my energy. There's only 2 more minutes left until I hit my limit. My fear is cast out by excitement. Caught in a battle for survival, my perspective on life and death gets turned upside down.
奇跡の類では
That was no miracle.
しかし常
Yet
識
it
で
defies any sense.
俺の渇きを
By what
水のよう
means
に
does this man pass through my thirst like water? There's a brief lull in the onslaught of icicles. He hones the wave of cold air into singular points, creating a maelstrom of ice.
死が
The
正しい
valiant effort, but this is where you die.
あまり俺の
I
胸
will
を
not have you
躍らせ
quicken
る
my
な
heart any further. The frozen javelins are launched in my direction, as if from a trap thrower. I slice through each of his icy bullets. With Arcwood behind me, I've got no other choice but to cut down every projectile he throws our way. It takes about 1.5 seconds for his frozen spears to close the distance between us. As long as I'm able to move my body, I can continue fending off his assault. But in the meantime, I need to come up with a plan. Vlav hasn't moved an inch. Why? There's no reason for him to hold back now that he recognizes I'm a threat, which leaves me with a hypothesis. He's frozen in place not because he thinks he can finish me off from afar, but because he can't move when he's in that state. Arcwood has cornered him already, leaving him without blood to fuel him. This freezing aura that surrounds him is more like the final defense mechanism of a monster on the verge of death. It's a wild theory, but it's one that fits the present situation. Trapped and unable to move, Vlav desperately throws accursed icicles every which way in order to cling to life. In the end, it doesn't matter if he runs hot or cold. All creatures ultimately perish when in his proximity. If I were within 10 meters of him, I'd freeze to death in 2 seconds. I'm going to collapse in no time. I'll meet my end like a lost traveler on a snowy mountain, doomed to drift off to sleep and never wake again. When a human's body temperature exceeds 43 degrees or drops below 34, brain cells start to shut down. I'm sorry, I stuttered because for a second I forgot that we were in Celsius. But I can't lose myself in the details. I have to look at the broader picture. I cannot let my thoughts distract me. My duty is to slice my knife through whatever comes my way the second I see it. I do have to revise some of my earlier assumptions. Yes, the cold he emanates spreads out in all directions, but after a closer look, I'm not certain the density is uniform all the way around. The ground seems coldest. That must mean there are temperature disparities in the air around him. If he has a weak point, that's where I'll find it. His blizzard may act as an all-encompassing barrier, but that doesn't make it impenetrable from every angle. So you would cast your life into the abyss for your master. Valiant, but you will go no further. Love draws the lance he used against Archwade from the shadows once more. As he does, a large tree of ice crystallizes in the air behind him, its branches extending in all directions. Simply overwhelm me with numbers. His attack interrupts my analysis. I focus again on intercepting his projectiles. There's no way I can kill all of the icicles this time. I'll have to take a hit. No, I can't let that happen. It's too soon to give up. I can't afford to take the slightest graze. Bleeding here would be death. The unforgiving cold would strip me of life before the minute was out. So I have no option but to kill. One way or another, I must. I reboot my consciousness and see the lines. Only the lines. One by one I take note of my prey. 26 in all. I devise my plan. Plot where to move, where to slice and kill, and where to dodge. At the center of it all, I see it. That which far transcends all of the lines of death surrounding it. A perfect point from where the lines are born, the place where death converges. A wall of death closes in on me. But just now I saw it, a glimmer. Just as I'm going to die here, so too does the possibility exist of him dying. But I've already reached my limits. Shigitono is out of ways to ensure his survival. The icicles rip through the flesh of my left thigh and the right side of my abdomen. Precious heat is robbed from my extremities. My ligaments scream as each sudden stop chews away more muscle fibers. The cells within are instantly destroyed by the ultra-cold temperature. My fingers grow numb. I can barely move my limbs. This is it. The chance of victory slipping out of sight. Whether he finishes me off or not, I'll be dead within a minute. If Love or Archwade or anyone else were watching me now, they'd think the same, I'm sure of it. But no one believes it more than me. So then why? It must be some primal animal instinct. Why is it that you're smiling during all this? An icicle strikes Archwade in the face. Fuck! I forgot to account for Archwade's position behind me. It looks like it only managed to graze her, but she has one hand over her face, rubbing the spot where she was struck. What kind of person takes a hit like that to the face and comes out with barely a scratch? A vampire, maybe. Ow. Ow. I'm reminded once more of just what a monster Archwade is. She buries one hand into the ground and pulls out a massive slab of earth, as easily as someone might dig through sand with a shovel. Then, as if to rebuke Vlad for the pain he caused her, she flings the rock in his direction. but he demolishes it just as easily with his lance. There's still not a scratch on it. It makes sense that he wouldn't be killed by rudimentary weapons. And yet, after seeing Arquade's counterattack, it's like the final piece of the puzzle has fallen into place. Finally, I've got something I can work with. I can kill him with one blow, but to do that, I'll have to strike him before my body shuts down from the cold. How, though? My legs won't carry me the distance they need in a span of 2 seconds. I need something faster. To maximize my chances, I'd better approach him from an angle where the cold is thinnest, but I can't use my legs to do that. I've got no other options. At this rate, I'll die anyway. It's no longer a question of if I can do it, but how. Brace yourself. There's only one way to get close enough, and that's by... taking flight. I'm gonna just quickly, taking flight. Or I suppose it'd be more accurate to say falling down. But can I actually pull it off? The whole thing would be down to luck. I'm already aware that there's no way I'd come out of this venture unscathed. For one, the impact of the landing alone would break my bones and turn my muscles to pulp. Will you be able to bear such agony? I narrowly sliced through the projectiles as if I were cutting through my own hesitation. Those were a little too close for comfort, but I ought to thank him. That last shot has opened my eyes. I just need to take whatever pain that comes my way. I've never been particularly susceptible to the sting of death to begin with. From now on, I'll tune every last thought to the prospect of killing. I have no doubt that Vlav is already doing the same. I turn around and run toward Arquade, though doing so depletes me of the last of my reserves of energy. I couldn't take one more step if I tried. My enemy is 50 meters away from me, but that's fine. Horizontal distance doesn't matter here. Hey, Arquade! Can you do that thing again? What thing? I quickly explained my plan to her. It's a short explanation. She views me with total bewilderment, but something about my expression must have convinced her. You know there'll be nothing left in my tank if I pull something on that scale, right? Are you sure you still want to do it despite that? We won't be able to run if it comes down to it. I nod, indicating I've accepted the consequences. I don't even have the energy to talk, and I'm honestly shocked Arquade was still considering the possibility of escape. Won't you fall off? You won't fall off halfway, though. Won't you fall off halfway, though? I'm not great at holding back, you know. No shit, I'll fall off. That's why you're... Even though I was supposed to catch my breath, I can't help but yell before getting to my plan. Which is when... There's no time to explain. Vlav has already sent another merciless storm of spears our way. It's fine, just throw me at full force. Don't hold back. If I'm gonna die, then I'd rather it was by your hand. We don't have time to dance around the issue. I'll take my eyes off Arquade and focus on our enemy. Behind me, Arquade perks up in response to my order. Got it. I'll make sure you win. I crouch down in front of Arquade. There, I press my knees and palms flat against the ground. An unseen arm runs beneath the surface. Arquade unearths another slab of rock just like before. No, it's on a whole different scale this time. The entire terrain crumbles and shakes as she loosens a massive swath from the ground. It's an explosion of soil, a veritable upheaval of the ground. The terrain splinters into countless pieces. If Vlav's cold is a blizzard, then Arcwade's made a tsunami of Earth. Even Vlav's deathly icicles are but droplets splashing against a tidal wave. Soon, the 50-meter-high wall of Earth will crash into him with the full force of 7,000 tons. Yet the knight doesn't flinch in the face of the looming calamity. He pierces through the wave of gravel with a thrust of his steel lance. Between the falling debris, he must have noticed that Arcwade, having used the last of her strength to pry apart the bedrock, was now on her knees, and that the imminent threat was nowhere to be seen among the earth and sand. Staring down the towering wave, his instincts returned to him. To be precise, they had returned 2 minutes prior. When a lone human forced him into retreat, that which he had thought was forever lost to the cold was rekindled, and he found himself regaining a semblance of his sanity. This human has the means to kill me. I know not how, only that he does. A lingering instinct of man once whole. The intuition of a warrior, honed and tempered during the Dark Ages, suddenly broke free of the curse plaguing his body. The deep-seated pride of a knight, built up over a mere 2 decades, had won over the madness of a millennium. He understands all too well that this is nothing short of a miracle. But such things are fleeting. This delusion of the mind will end once he kills the human. It will regress to being a dream of the dead, never to see the light of day again. In a matter of moments, the human joy he finds in the thrill of the fight will be buried by a haze of frost. But that's why he intends to relish the development. He understands the enemy's intention. He'll mask his approach using the debris as cover. He's seen the human's weapon. He knows it can cut through things. Surely the human will use this wall of dirt as a door, burst through it and encroach on his territory. He readies his lance. The wall of dirt towers before him. Under normal circumstances, he would shatter the wall, and his concealed foe with it. There's no need for him to adapt to the enemy's tactics. His preferred method of warfare has always been to offer no quarter and crush all resistance. He still has plenty of energy remaining. 10 people's worth of the finest blood. Yet the vampire remains obstinate.
それはできない。
Cannot do
こ
it.
の魂を消
Consuming
費
these
するこ
souls is
と
the
だけ
one
は
thing I shall
決し
never
て
do. It is his warmth. In order to burn, he will preserve this blood for all eternity. He does not mean to make light of the human. He has already realized that the foe he faces is an outlier. He is more than aware that if the human gets too close, it will be the end of him. Yet there are things even he is unwilling to relinquish. Shudder! Fully aware of his own heedlessness, he thrusts his lance forward using 50% of his remaining power. The giant wave of debris breaking apart immediately upon impact. But that only takes care of the rocks to his front. The blow ensured his immediate safety and nothing more. He knows that it would do little to his foe. He knows the enemy will come for him. No matter the cost, he will come.
だが
However, unfortunately, there are limits to the human body. It has no way of passing through this rain of debris. Even with the true ancestor princess on his side, some things are impossible. When the earthen waves break and the downpour ends, so will the life of the human. As long as he can find the boy, an ambush is impossible. Vlav opens his eyes. They're equipped to peer leagues into the distance. But he finds nothing. Not even a glimpse of a shadow creeping away. Could he have actually managed to kill him with that almighty blow? No, this foe would never die to something so simple. He chastises himself for thinking so highly of the enemy, yet a deathly cold chill runs down his spine. For a single second, he allowed his mind to drift from his foe. He knows that the enemy will come. Yet if he is nowhere to be found, then the knight's premise must have been faulty from the start.
Michiko.
Path. The vampire looks up at the sky. There he finds his enemy illuminated under the moonlight. The pale blue ghost lights the pale blue ghost lights of the mystic eyes of death perception bear down upon him. Arquade's aim wasn't just to bury Vlov in debris. It was to lob this boulder into the air. The one I was strapped to, far out of the vampire's view, and more importantly, above the reach of his cold. 30 meters below me, the tidal wave of Earth is demolished by Vlov. What remains is just him, me, and the vast open air between us. I steel my nerves as I revisualize the outcome. If I manage to do this, Shikitono will lose both his legs. Even if I survive, I'll never walk again. The certainty crystallizes in my mind's eye. But I don't let that bother me. If I can brace long enough to survive the next 2 seconds, then the result will be well worth it. It took him only a second to find me. While I admire his speed, it'll be 1 second too late. But won't you fall off halfway, though? I'm not great at holding back, you know. No shit, I'll fall off. That's why you're... going to make me a path. Epic. The floating rocks fall into place like puzzle pieces. A hastily constructed slide connected by ivy. We sit on the same coordinates, with only the air between us. Here we go. I calculate my chances of survival. Before I get started, I confirm my target. My route is plotted. A one-way path, 30 meters in 2 seconds. It's showtime, bloodsucker. My descent begins. I plunge down the slide into the maw of death. I've given up on reacting. I can only make my decisions one at a time, 1 second at a time. During the 2 seconds leading up to my touchdown, I focus on 2 factors. Every decision I make could end in my death. When faced with such a scenario, I must concentrate on where my chances of dying are particularly high. I visualize every point that could lead to certain death. Only 2 such exist. Elsewhere, my chances of survival lie around 10%. I don't need to worry about those. 10% is more than enough. The problem lies with the ones where I have 0% chance. A scenario where I will die no matter how deftly I perform, no matter how careful I am. Which is why I must do whatever I can to raise those odds from 0 to 1%. I need to sharpen my senses if I'm to overcome these 2 obstacles of death. I don't have the luxury to allocate them anywhere else. As I drop down, I no longer have the capacity to plan ahead for anything else either. What if I'm wrong, and there are more than 2 points of certain death? I can't fathom it. If there are, then it's already over for me. I don't have the strength to avoid 3 of them. That would just mean his power exceeds my wildest expectations. Icicles appear in the air behind him and shoot forth at me, as if to smother their prey. They close in like the jaws of a beast. It's terrifying, but I'm beyond caring now. That fear amounts to nothing more than a base animal instinct. I had seen this coming from a mile away. It's the thing I feared would kill me. 10 meters. I've passed through the first obstacle. Every last one of my nerves is on fire. My muscles are tuned to perfection. I rapidly twist and turn my torso. Even though it should have been impossible for me to change the trajectory of my descent, I managed to somehow do it after calculating the angle of his weapon. The metallic object narrowly skims the air beside me. My 0% gamble pays off, and I manage to avert certain death. Only 1 second before I land. It's my victory. He's out of moves. Both obstacles are determined in the span of a second each. Now I have to kill him before my insides are pulverized by the impact of the fall. I don't care what'll happen to me afterwards. In this moment, all of my focus is on piercing his line. But, if he were to have one more move up his sleeve, something outside of my predictions... No, there's no time to think, no time to avoid it. Even if I could change my trajectory at this juncture, I wouldn't waste my time on it. The time for thinking is over. If I'm going to die, that was decided the second I started my descent. This is fine. If my brain is to be skewered by ice here, I doubt I'd even register it. The second obstacle. The negative 100-degree temperature that defies the laws of nature and stops the human body in its tracks. My impulse to brace for a landing, and even my concerns for the sanctity of life, are left behind in the skies above. Kinetic energy courses from my thighs through to my hips, from my hips up to my back, and from there into my right hand as I swing the knife down. Now that the motion has been set into action, there's no way of stopping it. I'm a killing machine fueled by inertia. All my brain needs to do is locate the lines. At the center of it all, I see a light. A vortex of swirling atoms, the certainty of life's eventual end. A place of pure death that pulls everything inside like a black hole. My brain may have cast out all rational thought, but it still comprehends what it's seeing through sheer instinct. If the lines are what brings death to life, then this core brings death to the origin of its existence. The end of the universe, where any creature, be they monster or immortal, can be killed with a simple stab. I can't say I care much for this sudden revelation. My entire body trembles with emotions that run much deeper. Having used his lance already, Vlav unsheaths his machete. Realizing my aim, the vampire readies for another counterattack. It's his final move in this game against an underhanded opponent like myself. This man's the real deal, a shining example of his kind. I don't know or care where that bar is set for vampires, but he's a killer through and through. I can't help but despise him. When he was sane, before he was a vampire, I'm sure he was a knight worthy of envy. Even if not a shadow of that man remains. But he will never get the chance to bring his blade against me. I turn, dodge, then twist. My eyes trace his core. In an instant, the surrounding temperature returns to normal. The cold wave disappears alongside its master's life force. But the man still remains upright at the center of it all. What is this? Dazed, the vampire speaks to himself. I do not know this wound, nor can I recall this loss. I know only that this indescribably gentle touch of air left me long ago. I don't know what he's saying. I don't even know the language he speaks. But his tone is gentle, like that of a poet extolling spring. I feel neither pain nor cold. How frightening. How very nostalgic. It's as if I've already died. I'm so done. My body drops backwards onto the ground. But my heart and lungs cry for joy as finally, at long last, I begin breathing normally once again. I can't move either arm. I can't even tell whether I'm still holding my knife. All I can be sure of is the throbbing in my body and my rapidly fading consciousness. It's a blessing in disguise. My pain is overtaken by numbness. It feels like the bones in my left leg, which I landed on while falling, were carved with a saw. Normally the pain would have me seeing stars, but right now I can't feel a thing. God damn it. The miserable words pass my lips, even though I will them not to. I don't get any joy from having survived. I don't even feel pride in having done some great feat. It wasn't a miracle. It was nothing. After all was said and done, I just charged at him with every emotion I possessed. Moon. A solitary crescent moon sits high in the night sky. How odd. It feels familiar somehow. Like I saw something just like it in a dream once. Are you okay, Shiki? Arkwade strolls over as if nothing had happened. I'm alive, I guess. I feel more dead than alive, though. Even talking hurts like hell. But you're not going to hear me make petty complaints while I'm still alive. Yeah, we haven't been back home. We haven't been to school. Shit has hit the fan for like 48 straight hours. Now, no need to be modest. You just managed to kill an ancestor, you know? There's no shame in boasting a little. Arkwade seems to be happy on my behalf, even though I know that killing Vlav was a significant accomplishment. And yet, it's not like I actually did anything. His ice has already decimated the city. The body count will likely eclipse the massacre at the hotel by hundreds, if not thousands. This is all my fault. I let it happen again. Huh? It's not like anyone died. If it's Vlav's curse you're worried about, I protected everybody. No one died? Hold up, what are you saying? I try to fling my body upright, but my left leg screams from the motion. I find myself still on the ground, wincing in pain. See, you ought to be lying down for now. It doesn't matter. What did you say just now? No one died? You're serious? I am. When Vlav's principle went wild, I managed to keep it contained with a convective coating. But I'll admit, if you'd taken any longer to kill him, I probably couldn't have kept containing it. Arkwade casually admits to having done something insanely overpowered. My mind flashes back to the fight. Arkwade had paused abruptly, just before she was hit by his lance. Does that mean she didn't do that to protect herself, but to protect the entire city? Come to think of it, it's kind of strange that I survived the initial blast of ice at all. Yet I was able to keep breathing, even in those Arctic conditions. Arkwade must have ensured the rest of the town was able to do the same. It's not like anyone died, except for all of the flames from before the ice. Those people are still dead. The people downtown that got turned into zombies, exactly. And because of it, that happened. This entire time I was only thinking about myself. Meanwhile, she was selflessly protecting the city, even when she knew it would leave her at a disadvantage. You idiot. Why the hell would you do that? Weren't you the one who was saying we can't be thinking about human casualties? A strange wave of anger washes over me as I shout at the space case standing next to me. Arcweed raises her brow curiously. Because you told me that's what you wanted. I said something that idiotic? Seriously? When? Where? Don't tell me she did it because... You're an exception. You've never even drunk blood, so you're fine in my book. Vampire or not, as long as you don't lay a hand on humans, I've got no problem with you. I can't believe it. As long as you don't lay a hand on humans. She followed that? Even though she might have lost her life in the process if anything had gone wrong? I wonder if the original was more like, as long as you don't cause harm to humans. Because then that would make a little more sense. She's preventing the harm that somebody else would have caused by quote-unquote laying their hands on them. I presume. I laugh at the bizarre reality of it all. If anything, I'm more dumbfounded than ever. But more than that, I am incredibly, incredibly grateful. I close my eyes. If what she says is true, then I suppose it's fine for me to rest now. My chest, which had been filled with nothing but regret, is now overcome with relief. My consciousness starts to fade away. I forget all about the pain in my leg as I slip into a deep, dreamless slumber. At least I try to. But Arcweed hits me over the head with a loud thwack, forcefully pulling my awareness back into the land of the living. What the hell? You can't. If you fall asleep with a wound like that, it'll be worse when you wake up, right? You gotta wait until you close it up. That'd be more efficient. You little... cutie. She's right about that. But who was the one who told her that in the first place? Arcweed. Can I be honest with you for a second? Huh? Sure, go on. Stop asking for the impossible. You idiot. This is the end. With that, I've burned through my very last reserves of strength. What wonderful last words. My consciousness is already in a distant place. I can hear Arcweed making some big fuss at the back of my mind, but I no longer have the energy to open my eyes. Shiki? Are you really going to sleep? Yeah, because I'm tired. Tired enough to drop dead right on the spot. I'll wake up again tomorrow, I promise. Are you really sure? It's gonna hurt, you know. Are you okay if it doesn't heal? Are you going to pass out the second you wake up? You're so loud. I'm going to sleep, so you can do whatever you want. Okay. In that case, you should have told me sooner. She sounds bright and cheery. Her tender fingertips feel cool against my already ice-cold skin. It's nice. Soothing. Delight replaces the fatigue inside me. Should I call it the spoils of war? Or just the ancestors' husk?
まあいっか。
Either
ち
way,
ょう
it'll
ど
work.
どこに捨てようか困
I
って
don't
たも
really
のが
know
あっ
where
たんだ。
to dispose of it anyway, so this is perfect. What was that squelching noise?
何
Whoa,
何
hold
今
up.
の感触
What are you smearing
なんか
on
塗
me?
ったのか今。うわ
Ouch! Oh, oh! I can feel my nerves flaring up again.
めっち
That
ゃ
hurts. It
痛い。
stings.
かゆい。
What are
つ
you?
か怖い。お前一体
What the hell did you do? Just as I'm about to lay into her, I'm suddenly hit with a tremendous sense of emptiness. Perhaps my shouting burned through my last supply of fuel. This time I know I'll fall into an uncontestable slumber.
大丈夫。
Don't
悪
worry,
いも
it's
のじゃ
nothing
ないわ。
bad.
そ
I'm
げ
just
た
using it
肉
to
の
fill
分
up
だ
your
けなら
wounds.
これで塞がるわ。
Okay, we need to talk about this. Remind me to talk about this after the chapter ends.
でも骨ばっかりはちょっと無理かな。
I can't really do anything
後
about
で
your
ちゃんと
bones.
人間の医者に
You should
か
get
かり
that
なさ
checked
い。
with one of you human doctors afterwards. Her cold fingertips part from my skin.
眠っちゃったシキ。
Are you asleep, Shiki? Yeah, I am. It's been a while since I've slept so soundly, without a whiff of fear.
しょうがないな。
Guess I'll have to get you
シ
back
キの家
myself.
って坂の上の
Your
屋
house
敷
was
で
the
し
one
ょ
on。top of the hill, right?
なんとか送り届けてあげる。
In my sleep, I only see the white moon.
お疲れ様シキ。
You did good, Shiki.
それとありがとう。
Thank you.
今夜はあなたのおかげで助かっちゃった。
Her words of gratitude float about weightlessly. I can't hear her voice anymore. Finally, without anything else to intervene, I fall into the deepest of sleeps. A few hours after the blaze outside the station. While the fire raged, the firefighters on the scene reported it would take 2 full days to put it out. However, around midnight the fire died down and was fully extinguished soon after. An officer dispatched to the location said it was as if a living creature had decided to up and leave. The blockades through Route 305 will be lifted by 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. We've already cleared the expressways for traffic. Additionally, all remnants of the dead apostles on the scene have been disposed of. Will you be making contact with the Metropolitan Police, Father Mario?
行きたかねえが仕方ね
I'd
え。
rather not,
こ
but
の
it's
規模
not
の
like I got a
騒ぎはう
choice.
ちでもそうはねえ
Shit
か
doesn't
ら。
normally hit the fan on this scale, not even back home.
ジジイの名前だけじゃ
Throwing
収
out the
ま
old
りは
man's
つか
name
ねえ
ain't
だ
gonna
ろ。
be enough to solve this mess.
俺も出向いて。
I'll actually have to
誠
show up
意
in
っ
good
て
faith
も
and
ん見せ
whatever.
ないとな。
Then I shall accompany you as well.
現場の指揮
Shall I
は
delegate
例
command
の
of
代
this
行者に
incident
委
to the
任しますか
executors?
あ
Right.
あ、なぜ
The
か
ones who
潜
were
入捜
undercover
査して
here.
たあいつらか。ツーマンセルなんだよな。
There's 2 of them, yeah?
下っ端の方は
But the
俺のホ
subordinate
テ
to
ルに呼
remain
び
on
つけて
standby
待
at
機
my
させとけ。
hotel.
使い道
I'll
があ
find
れ
a
ば
use
使
for
う。
her if I have to.
あっちの方は
As for the one
で
from the
きるだけ
burial
早く本
agency,
国に
get
帰
her
ら
back
せ
home as fast as
セ
possible.
オナトールをつ
The
つけ
sooner
ば
we
す
appear
ぐに
to,
動く。
to Senator about it, the better.
かしこまりました
Understood.
ノイ司祭
I'll
に
write a letter
ラウレ
of
ンティス様の
opposition
名
to
義で
Prelate
ご議
Noy
論を
in
お送り
Cardinal
します
Laurentus's name.
ああ、
That's more or less it for our work here.
現場の後処
I
理
don't
は
really
誰
care who
にやら
stays
せ
to
て
clean
も
up
い
the
いん
scene.
だ。おい、アンド
Hey, Ando.
お呼びですか、
Call
坊
Buzz.
ちゃん。いやー、
Yeesh,
100
I
人
really
そう
had
そ
a
うつい
bad
てない
run
っ
of
す
luck in my
ね。
assignments
こ
lately.
んなんガス
You know,
爆
they're
発で
never
ごま
going
か
to
すとか
buy
無理
that
で
this
す
was
わ。
just a gas explosion,
どっか
right?
のテロ組織に声
Should I
明
see
で
if
も出
any
してもらいます
terrorist groups want to take credit?
そっちはいらねえ。
Nah,
対
no
外
need.
的な処理はここ
We're
の
making
持
the
ち
folks
主
who
に
own
押
the
し
place
付
deal
け。
with the fallout.
叩けば
It'll be a
埃
hell
が
of a
出そう
mess
だ
when they
から
start shaking the place up.
俺たちの仕事
All we gotta do is get rid of
こ
the
こ
shit
に
that
あ
ain't
ると
supposed
ま
to be
ずい
here.
ものの回収。
We've dealt with the dead apostles,
使徒の
but
痕
that
跡
still
はあ
leaves
ら
the
かた
human
拭ったが
remains.
被害者の処理にまだ不満がある。お前
えっす、了解。
Okay, gotcha.
って待って待って。
Wait a second.
坊ちゃんがいつも
Isn't
連
your
れてる
usual
大部
entourage
隊
still stuck outside
ま
the
だ
country?
入国してませんよね。もしかして
Am I the only one
俺だけ
here? You
遺
seriously
体を
want me to
全部
check
チェック
all
して
these bodies for
噛
signs
ま
of
れたかもし
bites?
れないなりかけを見つけ出せと。
見つけ出すだ
I'm
け
not
じ
just
ゃねえぞ
asking you to check them.
生きているなら教会
If
に送
they're,
れ
if they're alive, you'll have to
死ん
send
でい
them
る
to
な
the
らもう
church.
一度
If
殺し
they're
てや
dead,
る
then kill them again.
いえ、
Ugh,
そういう
started
ドブさ
working
らい
for
が
you
嫌
because
に
I
なっ
wanted
た
to
から
avoid that kind
坊
of
ちゃん
work,
に雇っ
boss.
てもらったんですけどね、俺。
急げ
Hurry
遺
up.
体の安
I'll
置
make
所に
certain
人
the
払
morgue
いを
is
さ
ready
せて
for you.
貴
I'm
様
sure
な
you
ら
can handle it by
夜明けまで
daybreak.
に済むはずだ
ま、動かない標
Whatever.
的に引き金を
This
引
is
くだけ
just
のお
squeezing
仕
the
事で
trigger
す
on
し、
some unmoving targets.
精神的な負担を
No
無視すれ
problem
ば
if you ignore the
の話ですけど
psychological
ね。
toll that is.
車を回せカリウス
Bring the car around,
お
Karius.
役所回りを
It's
始
time
め
for
る
us
ぞ
to deal with the red tape.
はいすぐ
Right away, Master Mario.
その他
Shall I
手
start
配は
making
必
the
要
other
です
arrangements? With the contamination of this scale, it would be best if we started calling for backup, and
その必
don't
要はね
bother.
つうか
In fact,
絶
don't even
対知
report
らせ
it.
るな
We'll deal with
こ
the
の
cleanup
件はこ
ourselves.
こだけで片付けるしばらくは情報
We
収
gotta
集
gather info first. We're
こ
fighting
れ
on
で
the
も
side of
正義の
justice
味
here, so
方
we
だか
can't
ら
rack
な
up any
い
unnecessary
たずらに犠
casualties.
牲は増やせない誰が敵で誰が
Let's
邪
figure
魔
out
者
who
か
our enemy is and who stands in
きっ
our
ち
way
り当たり
first.
をつけなくちゃな
Plot? Thank goodness, because I'm very hungry. And I would like to go eat some food. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today. Let me pop back over here real quick. I gotta swap my my display. Did like Arkway put Vla's flesh into Shiki's wound? That's what I was thinking. Okay, so I was thinking that she took his flesh and put it into Shiki's wounds because her ability is to control like matter and like life, which is why she can make chains or vines. So I think that she could like change the flesh into like she's got powers like Giorno Giovanna. She can change the flesh into like usable real like body parts. And that's what she did to Shiki to make sure that he doesn't die. I'm pretty sure that's possible. And that's a type of magic that I came up with in my novel that I wrote, my manuscript that I wrote like 3 fucking years ago. God damn it. Every good idea has already been used. Too bad you never post. I'm not posting a manuscript. I'm publishing a manuscript. Eventually, when I get around to it. You know what I meant? True. Well, I mean, it takes a long time. Also, this game originally came out in like 2004, so I was still beaten to the punch. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today. We have gone so far over time. Oh my goodness, who's live right now that I can raid to? I need to go eat food because I have not eaten very much today. It hurts. Let me see. Thank you for the stream. You're welcome for the stream. Warms my heart, you do. Let's. Do we want a big raid or a small raid? Because there are a few big people on that. But there are also a few small people on. There's always small. All right. There's always big people and small people on whenever I'm ending. Support small streamers. True. And then we send some love over to Tiff. Because Tiff is live streaming some Back for Blood. As if we needed more blood tonight, am I right? I, unfortunately, am going to have to pull a raid and run. Because I gotta go get me some food. So, as for you guys, keep the raid train going. Thank you for joining me. We will be back tomorrow, first of all, for some collaboration with Kage and Bure and Kyo, whom I have yet to actually talk to at all. Like we chatted in her chat when she was live, but I have yet to speak one-on-one with her, so that'll be fun. And then on Wednesday we're gonna finish up Ultra Kill, and then I was thinking maybe on Thursday, even though it says offline, we'll come back for some more Tsukihime, or maybe on Saturday. But either way, Friday is going to be another Fire Emblem day. And that'll be the week. So, stay tuned, follow me on all the socials and everything, to stay updated and all that jazz. Thank you again so much for being here, and for the raids. Be nice, have fun, raid leaf, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.